Hey guys, so today I'm doing a review for the Mockingjay Part 1 movie, which I finally saw yesterday. I'm just gonna give some things that I liked or didn't like about it, and then my overall thoughts at the end and stuff like that. So, yeah. So, the first thing I'd like to talk about is the accuracy of the movie compared to the book. I didn't like reread the book or anything for the movie because most of the time I remember most of the details, and it seemed like a pretty close movie compared to the book, minus a few minor changes that didn't really matter, anyways. Like, for example, Effie was in the movie a little bit, when in the book she was barely in it at all, except for like one scene, which was actually a good addition, I thought. So yeah, but just some other changes or stuff they left out from the book I didn't think was too minor, and I thought it was a pretty accurate movie from the book. The second thing I'd like to talk about is the acting. I thought the acting was pretty good. I didn't think it was like horrible. I mean, obviously, the past two movies I thought were good, and I thought the acting was pretty good. The next thing I'd like to talk about is the soundtrack, which the score I really liked, like what they played throughout the movie, and also the hanging tree is like, I think they adapted that from the book really well. And I really like that Jennifer Lawrence herself sung the hanging tree. That was pretty cool. And in the movie, the scene they used the hanging tree in, that was pretty cool. But the actual soundtrack, as far as I think, like not that goes in the movie, but just like the regular soundtrack, I honestly didn't really like it. I didn't really like any of the songs except for maybe one. But even then, I wouldn't like it enough to like buy it on iTunes or anything. I honestly didn't really like the soundtrack. I thought that it did not really fit the movie at all, or the book for that matter. It just didn't really fit, and I don't know. I just didn't really like it. But the score I really liked. Next, I'd like to talk about the characters. Um, so in this movie, I don't know. I think some of the characters were like pushed aside and made to the background. I don't know, is that just me? Like, it kind of, like, it's obviously all about Katniss because she's the main character and she's the person we get the point of view from. But I thought Katniss was just a tad annoying in this one. Not annoying, but she was just like, oh, PETA, like, just all concerned about PETA and, like, don't really like PETA, don't kill me. But, like, I understand why she would be so concerned. I mean, if that was a person in my life, I would be too. I just don't really like PETA, so I was just kind of meh about those scenes where she was like, like, oh, we have to rescue him, which I totally understand, but I just, I don't like PETA. Um, and also how she was treating Gail. I think she should have treated Gail a little bit better in this movie. Well, I mean, not movie. I mean, the book too, but I mean, I'm talking about the movie here, so yeah. Um, so yeah, and also I think a lot of the other characters were like background characters, which they didn't have like a huge part, like um Finnick, although he was in it a little bit more. I don't know. Um, Joanna, although she's in like one scene and she doesn't even have any lines, but that's probably for part two. I mean, I get why they weren't in it a little bit more, but I, I don't know. I just wanted them a little bit more. Next, I'd like to talk about the action of the movie and the plot of the movie, and also how they split the movies into two parts, Mockingjay Part 1 and Mockingjay Part 2, which will come out. But, yeah, I felt this was like the least action ish of this had the least action of the movies thus far. Same with the books, though, so I guess it's following. I mean, it is pretty accurate, but anyway, it was not a bad movie by any means. I did really like it, and the scenes that did have action, I really liked, and even the scenes that didn't have action, I liked. So it was a really good movie, and I really enjoyed it. Um, I just thought that it was a little bit less action, which is understandable because of the plot of the book. And also, at first, when I heard that Mockingjay was going to be two parts, I was kind of not looking forward to it being two parts because Mockingjay was kind of like boring for me, and I would rather it have been just one really good movie, having everything. But after watching Mockingjay Part 1, I do now realize why Mockingjay is split into two parts, just to get all the details from the book in there. And I really like how they did that, how they got mainly pretty much all the main details from the book in there. And I really like how they did that. So, yeah, and I have high hopes for Mockingjay Part 2 because I think it's going to be really good, like all the best, because the second half of Mockingjay is way better than the first half of Mockingjay. So, yeah. And finally, my overall thoughts of the movie. I thought it was a really well done movie and I thought it was really good. However, I thought it could have been a little bit better. I don't know if that's just me, but probably because Mockingjay, the first half, I thought was pretty boring. So, yeah, I thought the movie was better than the book. So far, we'll see how part 2 goes, and then I can judge it fully. But yeah, so that's all my general thoughts and stuff about this movie. And let me know what you thought of it if you saw it, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.